Hey everybody, this is Avi Abelo from IsraelOnWire.com with an amazing development. Some of you have heard the news that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced last night that if he is elected Prime Minister, he will be applying sovereignty to the Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria. That is huge news. That is amazing news. But let me clarify something, everybody. Let me clarify something. People are saying this is an election ploy, right? And you want to know something? It very well might be an election ploy. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu might be saying this in order to rile up his voter base and the right-wing voters of Israel to come out and vote for him, because we do understand that the only way forward to living peacefully with our Arab neighbors and to take the hope away from them that by terrorizing us they will destroy the state of Israel is by applying sovereignty in Judea and Samaria. People think that they have hope because they're oppressed. They have BMWs. They have Land Rovers. They have mansions. The refugee camps are pawns, street theater that they themselves leave up in horrible conditions so they can get pictures in the world to make Israel look bad. The refugee camps are under the Palestinian Authority for over 25 years with the billions of dollars that the international community has given them, and yet they're still in refugee camps? Folks, that's not Israel's fault. That's because they have a hope to destroy Israel, and having the optics and the pictures and the videos of these poor people in refugee camps that are their fault, not Israel's fault. So the hope to achieve peace is by applying Israeli sovereignty in Judea and Samaria so that they will understand that their terrorizing and murdering us will not bring about the destruction of the state of Israel. So the application of sovereignty in Israel is what will bring about a peaceful future. But here's the thing, I started telling you that it might have been an election ploy. It might be, and I don't care. Because even if it's an election ploy, historically, this is the first time an Israeli prime minister is making it official that a solution is the application of sovereignty in areas in Judea and Samaria. That is huge. Right now, right from this point onwards, it is now potential official Israeli policy for Israel to apply sovereignty. Up until this point, it's only been an idea that people talked about. It's only been an idea that some political parties have talked about. It has never been an official concept that the leader of the Jewish people today, that the leader of the state of Israel has raised. And that is what has changed. So even if he does not fulfill the promise, it is important that this was just made as an announcement, that it is out there. And now let me talk to all of those Jews out there who they're going crazy. Oh my God, he has killed the two-state solution. No, folks, the two-state solution was stillborn. It's been stillborn for over 100 years. The Arabs have had every opportunity to compromise for a two-state solution for over 100 years, yet they have said no each and every time because they are not interested in a two-state solution. They are interested in a one-state solution with the destruction of Israel. How many more deaths? How much more terror? How much more money given to terrorists? How many more schools honored in names of terrorists? How many more public squares dedicated in memory, in honor of terrorists need to be done in order for you, Jews in Israel and around the world, to realize they are not interested in making peace with us. They are interested in destroying us. So if you really care about the human rights and the equal rights of all of those Arabs, then the best solution is for Israel to be in control, because the Palestinian Authority oppresses them, Hamas oppresses them, and the only way forward so that the Arabs in our midst can live peacefully with us is if Israel is in control. Sovereignty in Judea and Samaria is the way forward towards peace. That is the only way. Two-state solution is gone. It was stillborn. It was never an option. How many more deaths? How much more terror before you, Jews and Israelis, wake up and realize they are never interested in living side by side peacefully with us? This is the Middle East. This is not Kansas. This is not London. This is not Los Angeles. This is not New York. It's the Middle East. The Middle Eastern culture is one of power. They don't care about the future of their kids. Because us Westerners, we think, well, they want what's best for their children. No, they don't. Their children, they end up sending off to be suicide bombers. They are in schools where they are taught to murder children and know how to stab innocent Jews. That's not a culture that cares about the future of their children. That is a culture based on Islam, which is a culture here in the Middle East that does not make sense to the Western mind. And there will not be peace here until Westerners, like many of us Jews, realize the Middle East is not Kansas. And I'm going to leave with this one last story. I was in conflict resolution course at Columbia University in the year 2000, master's degree, Columbia University, before it was the most anti-Semitic campus in the United States. And the professor was teaching us about conflict resolution, the understanding of cultures. You have to know, does this culture like to smile, or is a smile a bad thing? Do you use a fork? Do you use a spoon? You have to understand the intricacies of culture to then resolve conflict between two different cultures. The Camp David Accords were taking place, folks. This is the year 2000. Prime Minister Ehud Barak was sitting down with President Clinton and Yasser Arafat. And the professor said in conflict resolution, he's a professor, conflict resolution, peace in our time. The Camp David Accords are going to bring peace. And I raised my hand to the professor and I said, Professor, this whole semester you're teaching us that the only way to solve conflict is if you understand the other cultures. You are going against everything you taught us because you are using your Western rational-minded culture to try to bring peace and resolve a conflict in the Middle East that is a totally different culture. I'm sorry, Professor, you are wrong. The Camp David Accords will fail. And he screamed at me. And that's the lesson each and every Western-minded Jew must internalize. This is the Middle East. This is not Kansas. This is not London. This is not New York. We want to live peacefully with our Muslim neighbors. Understand Islam. Understand the Muslim culture. Islam is about taking over the world. Not every Muslim, but that is what Islam is about. Islam is about subjugation to Allah, subjugating everyone else to Allah. The only time, historically and today, a people other than Muslims can live peacefully with their neighboring Muslims if they are too strong for the Muslims to overtake them. Because the second you are weak, the Muslims then attack to take over you and destroy you. So if we want to live peacefully here in the Middle East with our Arab Muslim neighbors, Israel must be strong so that they don't have any hope in destroying us. So the solution forward is sovereignty in Judea and Samaria. So here's the little caveat, and with this I'm going to end. Because Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did not say, I'm going to apply sovereignty in all of Judea and Samaria. He didn't even say, I want to apply sovereignty to Area C, which is under Israeli control. He only said he wants to apply sovereignty to the Jewish communities. And that doesn't do it either, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Because right now the Arabs are stealing land at a massive rate in all of Area C. And the only way we'll be able to save that land and ensure Israeli control so that not just the Jews, but the Arab Muslims and others who live amongst us can live peacefully is if Israel is in control of the whole Judea and Samaria. What's going to happen with the Arabs who live in our midst? Don't worry about it. There's a solution for that then also. But just the fact that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said for the first time ever that part of a solution is the application of sovereignty, even if he doesn't do it, it's a major step forward, folks. So say hallelujah. No, Messiah's not going to come tomorrow. Application of sovereignty might not happen tomorrow, but we just moved the goalposts. And that's very, very good. Praying for a better future and praying to wake people up to the reality of the world today and to what's really going on, and not just remaining in our utopian minds of what we want the world to be while ignoring reality around us. Shalom from the ancestral home of the Jewish people here in the Judean Hills. Thanks for watching, folks. Share, share, share.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click like and share so that as many people as possible can see this great information about Israel. If you're not yet following this page, please click follow and sign up for the newsletter.